Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, thanks for stopping by. And I guess I should say that we're all new here, seeing as this is only, I think, my 5th video. And yeah, I still have no idea what I'm doing. I just want to thank everybody that has stopped by and left such overwhelmingly encouraging comments, and for those that have liked and subscribed already, my heartfelt thank you. So I want to work this week on building some ephemera for my Hardy Creations journal. Normally I don't work like that. Normally what I do is I start from the front, work to the back, kind of build ephemera as I go along. But I want to try something a little bit different this time, partly because I saw the video last week by Rachel at Roxy Creations, and she was doing fabric swatch cards, and I thought those would be absolutely perfect because I'm working on a sewing journal. So I have a couple of prototypes on my desk. The first one I don't like at all. That's this one here. The reason I don't like it is I glued the image on top of the fabric because of where it sat, and I don't like that. I would like my fabric and lace to be free of any fussy cut images that I put on it, so that in some ways the fabric and lace looks like the focal point, even though the dress is the focal point. I'm going to do it a little bit different than Roxy, Rachel at Roxy Creations did hers. She did hers with little pieces of fabric glued to what was a journal card. And I really like that, but I want mine to be almost more sewing oriented, in which case you would have your dress form with your prototype on it, and then fabric and laces that would go with whatever it is you're going to make. Fairly typical for a seamstress, especially somebody who's doing things for commercial purposes. They would do for their clients a swatch card which shows what it could look like, and basically these are fabrics or laces, and then put it together and clip it so that whoever is making a garment has an idea of what they're using. Whoever's purchasing that garment has an idea of what's going into it. That was where my thinking was coming from. So this was my original prototype. Like I said, I wasn't really happy with it. And then I did a second one, well, 2, and I'm much happier with these. So from there I went to this, and I kind of like how this one turned out. Your lace, ribbon, fabric are separate from the background, so you still can see the background. You could potentially journal here if you wanted to. You have your image, and it does kind of look like these might be bits and pieces that went with this. And I did another one sort of similar. Again, fabric, lace, other lace. This is using that same image from the first one. You could lift it up. You could potentially journal. You could go really, really easy. You could use, these are Sampool. They're in, I think it's called the Haberdashery. I'll try to remember to link it below. But there's a whole bunch of these swatch cards in there. You would just take it. I've printed double-sided, so this is one of the images within the kit. You would fold it over, and then you would put all your laces and fabrics on this side, staple it down, and it's done. Your image is then on the back. And those are really cool. I may use some of these, but I thought it would be more fun to build my own from scratch, just because that's how I roll. So what I started out with is I coffee dyed a whole bunch of 4x6 These are photo papers. They are a little bit heavier weight, but they are gloss on the front. That's what I used on these. So they are gloss. I suppose you could put like a matte medium on the top to knock the gloss back. You might be able to sand those as well to knock the gloss back. Got some really fun images with laying lace on top of the photo paper, probably because the water in the photo paper reacted to almost take a photograph of the lace, which I think is kind of fun. And then for images that I would use for this top part, I've got a whole stack of them. Yeah, I keep my fussy cuts in little envelopes like this because I lose things. I am a clutter bug, and if I don't do that, I'm gonna drown. So these came from Creative Fabrica. They're in one of the image packs, and then ones like, you can get these off like Amazon. They come in little packs of ephemera, and these are a heavier weight, more like a cardstock. So these would probably work really easily. You just trim off where you want. Do a little like 1/4 inch fold on the back, round your edge, and that would work really, really quickly. That one's a little bit lighter weight, so I would need to back that on like a coffee dyed paper. So there's a whole bunch of these that just came from like a pack, either on Amazon or AliExpress, one or the other. So there's a whole bunch. And then these are all from the Creative Fabrica, which are very similar. You'll notice they're almost exactly the same as these ones. You can also, if you look on, like, use Google Images for any public domain images, you may be able to find stuff like this. If it's in the public domain, you can use it. It's up, like, public domain images are non-copyrightable because they're over 70 years old, and the person that holds the copyright is dead, so they can't, like, you can't copyright an image that's over 70 years old. So then for dresses, I've got bits of pattern pieces, other bits of pattern pieces. I may use these in the background. I didn't on this one and this one, even though I was thinking I was going to. For some reason I didn't, but I think that would be really fun to put something like that, like, behind the image. These are AI generated, but then I've got a whole bunch in here that are actually from the pattern. And then I may use the dress form that comes in Rach and Bella's kit at some point in time as well. So those are kind of my bits and pieces. Then I've got a whole drawer full, if I can get it over here without, of like flowers and bits, just to maybe add some like fun to the top, like here, you know, just like a little bit of a washi sticker, just to make that a little bit more fun. And then I've got so much lace and ribbon on my desk that it almost hurts. There is quite a bit. So I'm kind of nervous because, you know, Roxy Creations and I'm a newcomer, and I'm like kind of a little nervous about doing this, truthfully. So some of these pages are a little lightweight, so I do need to, if I'm going to use it, I need to back it so that I can fold it over. So I'm going to start. I'm not going to use glue stick because glue stick takes a long time to dry. And then you can't do the scoring and the stapling unless you want to wreck everything. Because if you use tools and your glue is wet, it causes problems. So probably going to use about 2 inches of this image. So I'm just eyeballing it. If I haven't put enough glue on it, I'll come back in and add more glue later on. I suppose I could do it this way to make sure that yeah, I do things backwards. What can I say? Where did I put my bone folder? Of course, it's underneath all the other bits. All the other bits. I'm just going to trim this so that it fits. Sorry if that's too close to the camera. I'm still trying to figure out things, sneaky little things like where my phone should be and how close I need to be to that. I would keep this because that will be really fun for something else. And I'll put it at the back of my little envelope so I don't lose it, which I will. And then let's get my baby scoreboard. And we want to fold it about 1/4 of an inch here. I think I'm going to do it that way. It's still a little bit wet. Barely Arts dries really quickly, but any glue will take a little bit of time to dry. Sorry if I'm off camera. Till I get new glasses, I have to put everything fairly far away from me, or fairly close to me so that I can actually see it. So that is a little bit wider. So I think I am going to take about 1/4 of an inch off of that side, or maybe a little bit less, and take some off both sides. So, now where's my baby ruler? The way that I do it when I'm cutting is I use a ruler line here as a guide and say I want to trim it to a line here. Let's move that way so you can see what I mean. So I want to cut like to this line. So I'm just using my guideline there and lining it up straight and then trimming back. And then I need to come on the other side and do the same amount. So I will do the same thing here, and try not to stab yourself with your X-Acto knife when you do that, because it could cause red stuff all over everywhere. And then I also want to round the corners here. You'll notice I do not ink. I don't know why I don't ink. I think because when I first started doing this, I couldn't afford any of the Tim Holtz products, so I just got used to doing things with no ink. And quite honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the feel of oxide and distress inks on my product, on my finished whatever it is I'm working on. I just it feels, I don't know, I'd say squicky, but that's a weird word to use, but it feels I don't know, like it sticks somehow, or like it leaves this residual on my fingers, and I don't like it. But that's a me thing. So if you were doing this and you wanted to, like, you could definitely at this point in time ink. That's up to you. I think I'm actually going to round the bottom edges of this as well, just so it looks good. And then I don't know whether it would work, but I'm going to try it up here so that it's like not, you could conceivably, like you can see, can you see that? It does take off some of the shine, but it leaves little like marks on it if you sand it. So I don't know that I would do that, but you could conceivably, if you didn't want the shine, sand the card so that it's not so glossy. And like I said, I want to use some of this pattern. These are like edges of pattern envelopes, and I like, these are actual ruler marks, and I think they're so fun. So much fun. This one's really grungy, the bottom part of that. But then I think I'd lose that if I put that. I think I'm going to use like the top part of that. That in there because that's, you can use that on something else too. That's actually got a little notch out of it from something. The pattern this came from has been in my drawer since the 70s. And it's well loved because I used it more than once. But the size of that pattern, that ship is long since sailed, long since sailed. And then I think I'm going to cut this little thing here. Looks like it might have been like her, like a reticula or whatever they call those things. Like a little purse. So I'm going to cut that off because that's not necessary. And so I think it would be really fun to add labels to that as well. When I collage, I'm thinking of the weight of something, what you want to be the most prominent. So there's two things in here I want to be really prominent. I want the fabric swatches that come over here to be prominent, and I want the dress to be prominent. So anything else that comes on here, like the tape thing behind it, any of the labels I put on it, sorry if that glares, that's metal. I use these fun little, you can buy these mints at Dollar Tree, and they make like absolutely the best little tins for, I have, pardon my arm, I'll grab one. I have stacks of them, and what I do is I cut little images and put images on the top and then label what's inside of it, so that I can just pull it out and go, oh, well, those are all like Rach and Bella labels, or images. Like there's both labels and images in here, or I can, like, I've got butterflies in some. I've got, yeah, these are all like Rach and Bella, so there's like a whole bunch of different things in here. But that helps keep me, a disaster maven, a little bit more organized. Just a small bit more organized. I have stuff I put in there too. I have to remember that. So if I'm going to put a label on here, I don't want it to be really prominent, but I want it to kind of ground her so that she feels like she's not falling off her wherever she's sitting. So, like, for example, if I was putting a label underneath her, I might want to put it so it looks like it's her floor. I wouldn't put it like that because that gap looks like it doesn't belong. I want it to have better weight than that. The other reason I might not put a label under this section is, for me, a label would need to come down more like this. And I haven't left enough room to do that so that it feels more staggered and balanced. But these are just me. Like, whatever works for you. If you're putting a label on there, do what makes you feel comfortable. Don't follow somebody else's rules. And they say, oh, you can only put 2 labels on anything, or you should put 2 labels on something. If you want 1, put 1. If you want 12, put 12. Like, do what you like. Don't do what somebody else likes. And I was hoping I would have a smaller one of that corset, but I think I only had the one and I used it in that. Oh, that could be fun. See, to me, that would work. Yeah, I think that would work. And then before I glue it down, I need to figure out what my laces and ribbons and fabric are, so that I can put those on here. And I'm not a pink girl, so I own nothing pink. Except for some ribbon, because that you can get at the thrift store. So maybe we could pretend. Oh, I like that. Yes. Really like that. I use pinking shears to cut my fabric for this because that's more authentic. Also, this fabric frays super badly even with pinking it, so this might help a little, might not. I used it in a journal on the spine, and it was one of the worst decisions I ever made. So I really like that. Really like that. Might not match with that brown, but I really like that. And then I have, pardon me if I'm getting a little quiet here, I'm digging in a section. I have some pink ribbon that I think would really work well. It's a little bit yucky on this one end, so I'm just going to trim that and throw it on the floor because why not? Hope I don't need that again. It's now on the floor. And then I need something that looks like the lace that would go on that dress. And I have just the tiniest bit of lace. That could work, even though it's perhaps a bit modern. So conceivably, oh, I like that better. Yeah, like that better. Way better. Because that little white hole wasn't working for me anyway. Kind of want that to stand out. And if I put this up here, it's going to cover that blue. This is where I got into trouble with that first one, because I was trying to make the ribbon and lace work and then forgot about the image. And the image was silly. And the other thing is, would that work? And if I did that, yeah, I could make that work. Because I have room. That would need to... I'm trying to also think about how that's adhering at the top. Because it's got to, like, it needs to be stuck in well enough at the top that it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to cut a little bit of this lace off. Yeah, that's better. I think I mentioned before I don't talk when I'm thinking. All right, let's see how that works. Yeah, okay. I think that works. So I'm going to start by gluing this down. There, where it doesn't belong. And of course I stuck that down and now it's there. Oh well. Oops. It's not quite in the right spot. It's one of those where I want to say, I won't tell if you don't. Okay. So I'm gonna add some glue there so that doesn't go anywhere. And here, so that doesn't go anywhere. You could use Fabri-Tac, but my Fabri-Tac is a bit gummy right now. And I'm trying that thing where you add acetone to it. And it's being interesting. Let's just put it that way. This is a very, very small little stapler. Uses the size 10. This stapler, I've had it since probably kindergarten. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but it was a bit. Add some glue along the back here. And stick that down. And then I'm gonna come in with staples. Maybe could have left that ribbon a little bit lower, but I still think that works. And then should we add a little flower? Or part of a flower. Kind of like that. Like you'd need to cut off the bottom of it. I have so many of these washi. So many of these washi stickers. That would be pretty if you like think of that knot there. So like that. Yeah, kind of like that. Let's do that. Use the industrial size scissors because, you know, why go small? So for washi stickers, they can be notoriously a bit of a pain to get off the background. But if you use your thumb on it and kind of pull it up like this, the washi sticker will stick to your thumb and come off the background. Promise. And just adhere that, and of course I got too far over, so I'm just going to trim that little tiny bit of sticker off the edge like that. And look at that, it only took me half an hour to create one. So that's that one. So let's use a different top. Let's use this one. My printer is being really weird, so it's printing like quite yellowy, and I don't know why. Like, I seriously don't know why it's doing that. I'm again having that thing where my little piece of paper is way bigger than it needs to be, and I'm like, do I cut it this way or this way? That should be about 2 inches. There's something on this other side because I was playing around with different sizes, but I like the bigger ones better. And after all of that, I still glued that in the wrong place. Okay. Yeah. Probably going like that. And then I want about 2 inches. Everybody else lose stuff on their desk that's right under their nose, like right under my nose. It's like, I don't know what I did with it. Under your nose. Oh, good guess. Good guess. So, got a little burnish. In here with my disappeared, like, what I do with it. About 1/4 of an inch along there so I can fold a little back. You get better lines if you don't rush, and you let your glue dry 100% before you fold, unlike me. Because otherwise you notice that's not straight. That's because I folded before the glue was dry. And it also gaps because I folded it before the glue was dry. Do you hear little? That's my kitty. He's like, he's very maladapted socially. Like he's, I don't know. He doesn't like other people very much. So if he hears anything he doesn't like, he goes and hides under the covers on my bed. And he's been there sleeping all day, and now he's up, and of course now he wants attention because he's no longer hiding under the covers, and he's like, well, you're talking to somebody, talk to me. He's such a funny little boy. Such a funny little boy. So I want to use one of these where the back side is like kind of faint, and let's see if we can find one that's got a bit of, ooh, that one's nice. What do you, yeah, let's use that one. Still got a tiny bit of shine to it, but it's not too bad. And I should actually have trimmed that off on that side. So I'm gonna trim that down, and then I have to redo that corner because the corner's gonna be wrong. Corner rounder. And you can do that, like if you've done your corner incorrectly and you trim it, as long as you have one straight side, your corner should still round for you. All right. Pick an image. I have all these images that came from patterns that I own, but I think they're all too big. Like that. She's gorgeous. And that. But she's too big. I made this coat. Again, that ship has sailed as far as size and weight, and yeah. Oh, I wish those worked. I might need to do these. I may save these and use them elsewhere, because I just like, there's something about the elegance of that. These are all too big. I have that one, which I used already in the, oh, let's use her. Yes. Yes. She can go anywhere. And then some of this pattern might be nice, or I have, here is what we are going to do. I am going to use that line. I think this is the other part of that, that pattern. Somebody's coming to visit. Hopefully he doesn't go on the desk. He sometimes will crawl on, like he'll actually climb on my shoulder while I'm doing this. Yeah. Hello, little. He's on my chair behind me. So if you see a nose, yeah. Ooh, I like that. Very much like that. Very much like that. How are we doing for time? All right. Now when we put fabric and lace on. It's going to partly cover that image. But I don't mind that, because then when you lift it up, that's going to be visible. And I just like how that kind of gives her a bit of balance. I'm going to try to do this without getting my head too badly in there. This white is driving me nuts. And the easiest way to get that out is with an X-Acto knife, which is, you're probably going to see a lot of hair right now, and not a heck of a lot of what I'm doing. There we go. That's better, because now we'll get to see that, those numbers and such come through on both sides of that pattern. Oh, much better. I like that much better. Much better. And then I don't think I need another label, but I might want something vertical up there. Oh, could we, should we? This washi tape came off of, I think I got this one from AliExpress or Amazon or one of those, but I don't like it because it's got this paper on the background, and the paper is like, oh, a nightmare. Got another one that's thin like this. Who knows where it is? Ah, yeah, okay, so let's put a bit of, well, I have every pair of scissors I own on my desk. Just gonna pink the edges a little bit. Now, should that be bigger? I think I want a bigger piece. I think I want a bigger piece. So I'm going to come this way. Sorry about the noise. I wonder if I should use, because I've got this, which is quite close to that tealish color, but it's gauzy, and most likely I have like tons of teal somewhere. I don't know where. I have lots of fabric. So here's another thing that you could do, because if you were making a dress, you wouldn't necessarily use just one fabric. You could use multiple fabrics. I keep going off camera because I have to see what I'm doing. So I could overlay that like that, and then I've got more the color I'm wanting. So I think I'll do that. And then cut those both so they look a little even. And then for ribbon, let's see if I have a darker blue. I mean, I do have a darker blue, but like that I can reach with where I'm sitting. Could put something like glamorous on there. That's like hello blue. We have gingham ribbon. Yeah, not gonna work. Oh, there we go. The advantage to having 11 million meters of ribbon and lace is that you always have what you need. Clatter bang. Ribbon. And then I would like to put a lace on there, but I don't think I have any blue lace. So let's not, I think I'm not going to put a ribbon on there, because if she was going to have a ribbon, it would be blue. And I'm 100% sure I don't have a blue lace. Unless I use like just the edge of that one. Suppose that could work. Yeah, that could work. All right. Okay, so glue this down. How are we doing for time? Managed to make 2. How do other people do mass makes? Either I'm really slow or they're really fast. One or the other, because I don't think 2 is a mass make. More like a snail make. One of the fun things about AI is look at her poor face. Yeah. All right. That can go up like that. And then I think I am going to try and see what happens if I use my stapler. Okay, that's not too bad. And then add a line of glue. That's good. Glue the back of this. And stick that there. Like that. Staple, and maybe I'll staple there too. Oh, I like that one. Really like that one. Okay, so in an hour, because I'm so speedy, I made 2. Yeah, and okay. So, and then my prototypes, the one that worked out more or less, except for this, which, yeah. And then another prototype. and then the one that I didn't like. So overall, we have 5 of them, which aren't too bad. But I apparently need to up my game if I'm going to mass make anything, because 2 is not a mass make. And again, thanks everybody for stopping by, for your likes and comments, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, happy crafting, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!